Good evening, and welcome to the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research channel. And tonight we've got a special guest, a cat, with Liz Cormell.
Yes, Tash is the star tonight.
Yeah, that's it. We've decided that we'll chat to cats tonight for a change.
I'll translate.
Yeah, that's right. Can you do animal mediumship?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
just over lockdown. I'm developing animal communication. So
wow.
I've the last 2 years, I suppose, I've helped a few people whose pets have gone missing.
That's lovely.
And tuned into them. So yeah, I'm really developing that now. So tuning into usually a photograph.
Oh, that's brilliant because I had Liz Crowther on the show. And I told
yeah.
my dog to shut up and not say anything, and then the bird started going crazy. So the bird gave away a few secrets, which was madness. Hi, Louisa. Thanks for joining us. I can't see many comments at the moment. It's just taking a while. Hi, Chris J. Cooper. Hi, Barry Steer. Hope everyone's well. So, yeah, Liz, you've been doing mediumship as long as you've known. Hi, Jane. Thanks for joining us. So, where did it all start for you?
I think the first thing I remember happening was staying over at my grandparents' when I was probably about 4 or 5, and waking up to there being a man stood in the window. Yeah, I screamed the place down. My nan comes rushing in and says, "Oh yeah, it's just shadows. It's just the furniture, and there's nothing there. Don't worry about it." And family holidays, we used to go to a lot of castles and historic places, and there'd be rooms that I'd refuse to go into even as a little kid, and I didn't know why, and it used to scare the living daylights out of me.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've always kind of known since I can remember that there's something else, that I can see stuff that other people can't. So it wasn't until I started to develop that they became people, and it became less scary, really.
Wow. Because I understand that, you didn't get any support, so it's just a whole different thing for you.
Well, I've since found out that it's come down through my mom's line. It's come down through the women on my mom's side, but they're strict Catholics, so they've all denied it. So it may well have been that when I was a little kid and there was a man stood in the bedroom, that my nan could see him, but she's kind of denied it and kind of brushed it off. So I've literally had to search for the answers myself, and find out what's going on, and am I bonkers? Have I just got an overactive imagination, or is there something going on? Yeah, it was. I guess the real crux was when I went on in my first ever public investigation at Caldecott Castle, and the medium there kind of said, "Are you psychic?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know." Wow. And he says, "Okay, well, what are you?" Because I was reacting oddly, and he was like, "Well, what are you getting? What are you seeing?" And I said, "Well, there's a soldier in that blasted window," because it was up in a turret. If anybody knows Caldecott Castle, it's the turret that's open to the elements, and you go up on the wooden plankway. And I was seeing a soldier with half his face missing. And my ears were ringing, and I assumed I was picking up like a cannon blast or something that had taken his face away. And the medium says, "I think you need to develop. I think you've got something." And as it happens, I saw advertised a development weekend. I can't even remember the couple who ran it, but I remember it was a really obscure old family home that had been turned into a youth hostel or something. And that was the first time I went into trance.
Wow.
I walked into the place and went basically if all I got was learning how to meditate, that was enough for me, because it was quite a cheap weekend. It was a weekend away, basically.
Yeah.
And then the first night we did an investigation in the hall, and I stood in a spot and went, "Oh," and walked away. And the medium said, that's a shame. I was going to ask somebody to stand there. And I was like, I don't mind going back and standing there. It just took me by surprise. So I went and stood there, and then I don't remember the next 20 minutes. But apparently I channeled an RAF officer. I gave his name, his rank, his number. He was a fighter pilot with the RAF, but had been injured, so couldn't fly anymore. So he was put in charge of this hall, and it was an SOE station.
Wow.
And I was getting pain down my one side, which was where he'd been injured. And I vaguely remember as I came round, I was tapping my leg, like calling a dog to heal, as you tap your leg. And but apparently I grew to about 6'4". My face changed. I was stood differently, and there were spirit lights whizzing around me that people had got in photographs. So I was kind of lucky there, because he was a lovely, gentle soul. And I've always described it as like having a hug with your granddad. That's how it felt when he was in me. But yeah, I gave all sorts of information, and the historian said, "There's no way you could have found that out online." And I was like, "Well, I didn't do any research, because I didn't know where we were coming, really, and that's not my aim." Sorry. And I was coming out with code names. At one point we walked into a room and there was a metallic smell, and I just came out with, it's the solution they use to clean the contacts on the Morse code machines. And they were like, and I was like, I don't know where that's come from, but so it was that. From that point onwards, I literally went on as many investigations as I could, and that was back in 2005.
Gosh.
So it was one every Friday, one every Saturday. At one point I was in 6 different groups. So yeah, enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It is addictive.
Definitely. Yeah, we've all got withdrawal symptoms now, haven't we? It's absolutely crazy now.
Totally.
It's just out there so badly.
It's crazy. Oh, hi Vaughn.
So
hi, Laurie.
how did you feel at that castle though? How did you feel when you were getting all this? Because you had experienced some obviously before then.
It just felt normal. It just felt.
Okay.
It was. I was surprised that nobody else could see it. It was just normal. So it was when the medium kind of said, yes, that's what I'm getting. And no, you're not bonkers. You need to develop it further. That I kind of went, okay, it's not scary anymore, because they're just people. So I kind of fell into the whole investigation mediumship kind of thing.
That's brilliant. So if people want to develop, what's the best way, do you think?
First thing I would say is work out how to protect yourself. That is the very first thing that I would say to anybody who wants to develop any kind of skills. I mean, I recommend using a bubble of light, but I know it depends on which sense. Everybody has a dominant sense.
Yeah.
Most people, it's sight, so you visualize the bubble of light. But there are certain people that they can't visualize things, so you have to get into another sense. So whether that's feeling, so you use heat or a smell or a sound, and you use that to enclose yourself in a bubble.
Wow, I've never heard that before.
Oh, right.
When you go on an event and they go, just imagine the light or tree roots, and it's always like for you to imagine something visual. So that's a great idea then, if you can't see anything or imagine anything visually. That's brilliant.
Yeah, don't worry if you can't visualize, because like I say, some people it's not your strongest sense. Your strongest sense might be smell or taste or hearing, or feeling. So yeah, it's finding what works for you. I totally believe there is no right answer, and I've run development weekends myself, and my aim as a teacher is to find what works for them. I can tell them what I do, but that's not necessarily going to work for them. So it's finding a way of them developing themselves. I just give them the tools and the knowledge to work out what works for them.
like that. I want to come on development.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I have been developing. I've been doing it for a while, but yeah, I'm like, I want to do more. Yeah,
And the second step is learn to meditate.
I can do that. Yeah.
Because once you meditate, that's how you meet your guides and your gatekeeper. And once you know them and you're confident in they've got your back, basically, they show you things. Once you've worked out how to communicate with them, they take things at the pace that is right for you. You might not know that that pace is right for you. Like, you're like, oh, I really want to get on with it. And they're like, no, you've got a few steps first.
That's me.
You've got to work with your guide, and your guide will take you at the pace that is right for you. So if it means that you need to practice something for a few months or even a few years, then that's the pace that you've got to go at.
Yeah, I'm one for trying to run before I can walk, to be honest.
Yeah, I think most adults are like that, to be honest. Kids are quite patient in learning, but adults, it's like, no, I can do that now. But your guides have to kind of make sure that you really can do it, and you don't have to think about doing it either. Because, like, to me, my protection comes on like that. I don't have to sit in a darkened room before I go on an investigation and, like, prepare myself, because as soon as I walk in, my protection's up. I flick a switch. So you've kind of got to get to that point before you can do anything else, before your guides can handle you doing anything else. I think that's the main thing, because they're the ones that protect you ultimately.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, I do kind of. Yeah, I need to work with my guides more, put it that way.
Yeah. I've got to the point where my guides do very little now. I know they're there, and they kind of let me get on with it until they kind of go, whoa, don't think you should be doing that. But most of the time they're quite happy for me to just get on with it, because I know if they go, oi, I'm going to listen.
Mine just go like this all the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
mine. What are you doing now?
When I start pulling through things through portals, and I tend to dabble a little bit on the dark side, just because that's how you learn. And they kind of go, oh shit, she's at it again. But she can handle it, or we're going to keep a close eye on this one. But they know that I'm going to listen to them, because we've worked together for so long now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I just go for it.
Pretty much what I do. Yeah, I'm an activist. I don't know if you know learning styles, but I'm very much jump, go, oh, that didn't work, try something else now.
Yeah, that's right. I just go for it and hope, and then, oh dear, hopefully somebody can get me out of it, or get myself out of it. I'm not going to do it on my own though.
Well, that's why you need your relationship with your guides, and they've got to trust that when they say you need to do this, that you're going to do it. So that's why you need to work on the meditation to get the connection with your guides strong, and they know you and you know them then. Yeah,
I've been sitting in the power as well.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yes, yeah, that's
I
nice.
need to do that more.
It's nice just to escape, isn't it? Especially at these times where you can't go out. It's like, okay, I'm going astral flying, so I'm just going to see what happens.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We can go on holiday then.
Yes.
Astral fly to a beach.
That was cool. Astral projection was one of the first things I actually learned when I was about 17. I learned to read tarot from a boyfriend's mom, who was Romany Gypsy, and we kind of got into the whole Clive Barker stuff and astral projection, and that's when I got into astral projection. I didn't know my guides at this point, so I was taking a bit, looking back, I was like, oh my god, did I really do that? But I think if you're a strong character, you don't lose your sense of self, whatever happens. So I think that makes a big difference as well.
Yeah, that sounds brilliant. Just a quick hello to everyone. So I put my glasses on. So hi, Alex Merriman. Thanks for joining us. Barry Steer, Michael Craven, Patricia Ann Farrar, Chris J. Cooper, Justin Matthew, Blah, Bloss. I always get your name wrong. You'll kill me. Von Hunter, Laurie. You've heard of Laurie? Your teammate, your daughter. Justin Clifford, thank you. Yeah. Thanks everyone who's joined it. Helen Marston, Barry Steer. Okay, so if anyone's got any questions, Justin Clifford, I believe my guides are 2 ravens, a Templar, a futuristic man, and a huge giant being. Wow.
The giant being might actually be a projection of your soul self. Energetically, I believe we have our own forms that aren't necessarily human, especially if you're an old soul. So I'm a dragon, and I found that out doing my Reiki attunement. I could see my dragon nose. But I've seen a few people like Alex, who's on tonight. She appears as a tree. Energetically, she's an enormous tree. She's like Freya to me. So the giant being might actually be his soul self.
Wow, that sounds amazing. There you go then, Justin. See, it's a massive world out there, isn't it?
Yeah. They're
like,
always learning. Always learning.
Of it. It's absolutely brilliant.
The ravens might be a representation of a god or goddess. I mean, I don't know what Justin's belief system is, but to me, ravens, they're obviously Othin's birds, but they're also Morrigans.
I see 2 ravens or blackbirds all the time.
They may be a manifestation of his guides, and his guide may be Othin or Morrigan. So yeah, it's a special guide, that is.
That's brilliant. Hi Ben Winfield, thanks for joining us. If you've got any questions, if you add them to the chat. Hi Kelly Leggett. Laurie says you also do past life regression.
Yes, I do. Laurie actually challenged me because she said, nobody will get me. I can't be hypnotized. I can't meditate. Nobody will ever get me down to do a past life regression. But I think her problem was, again, she doesn't visualize. She uses different senses. So as soon as I'd worked that out, it was quite easy to get her down and regress her. So
wow, that's brilliant. So have you regressed then?
I have. I also have what I call memory dreams from my past lives. So I've always had them, even from a kid. There's 2 that I remember really strongly that I had as a child. One of them was playing on bombed out city and collecting shrapnel. So presumably Second World War. I don't know that for sure. The second one is fighter pilot.
Wow.
And I had some kind of inherited memory, because even as a little kid, I could name all the World War II aeroplanes, British and German.
My gosh.
Before I could read, I could look at a silhouette and go, well, that's a Messerschmitt 109, or that's a Spitfire, or that's a Marine Spitfire. It's not what everybody thinks of as the fighter plane. It was the precursor. So yeah, the 2 very, very strong Second World War past lives, I'm pretty sure.
That's astonishing.
And Alex will tell you, we went to see 1917 at the cinema, and I had a very, very physiological reaction to German bolt action rifles.
Oops.
Yeah, so that's obviously some kind of hidden memory somewhere.
Did you do that quietly?
I was sat there and I was holding, and I was like, every time, I'm not a jumpy person. Anybody who's investigated with me will tell you it's very rare that I will jump.
Right.
you can let off a firework right behind me and I won't jump. I will turn around and go, well, that was stupid. But I was jumping out of my skin every time a German bolt action rifle was fired. Not the British ones, the German ones.
Wow.
It was very strange. And like I say, I don't know that as a memory, as a past life. So it's obviously some kind of ingrained, inherited memory somewhere.
Yeah. So I don't like fruit because it's sticky on my hands. And my past life regression told me I was a peasant selling fruit. So that explains it. And it's great when you get sort of the validation that, I don't like that because of that.
Yeah. Well, I kind of just take it for granted now and just go, okay, it's past life thing. I can't wear anything around my wrists. If I wear a bracelet, it has to be loose enough that it will slip up and down my arm. I can't wear a watch. And I'm convinced at some point I was imprisoned. Just doing that, putting my hand round, makes my skin crawl. So I just kind of go, must be past life memory.
Yeah. Wow. That's worrying, isn't it, really?
You just accept it, I think. You get to the point where you just go, okay, that's fine. I'll just avoid that then.
So Justin has read that you relive our lives every 150 years to give everyone a chance to start again. What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's quite as regimented on a timescale as that. Like I say, I know I've got 2 past lives within the Second World War. And I think the first one was fighter pilot. I don't think I lasted very long as a fighter pilot. And I came back pretty quickly because I remember being a toddler on bombed out houses. So that could be literally killed 1939 and then reincarnated 1940, 1941.
In an area you might have bombed.
Well, yes.
Question mark.
I very strongly feel that most of my recent past lives have been British and Midland based as well.
Okay.
At the very furthest, like Worcester, Gloucester, somewhere around there. But I know going way back, I've got Saxon roots because my spirit guide now is he's actually my soulmate. He's a Saxon warrior called Aetherwolf. And we've had many lives together, and in this life he's my guide.
Brilliant.
It just means I'm not going to see him physically in this life, which was a little bit upsetting when he first introduced himself. It's like, oh, I'm not going to see you then. Yeah.
Oh. So you say that you've done like over 1,000 investigations. And obviously you're in a team now with Laurie, Skepticide,
yes.
Because she did the Parameet the other night, which that was brilliant. I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
So it is available to watch anyway. If you just click on, you will find it. Which day was that? 28th?
The Monday, whichever date that was. I've lost track because it was Christmas and New Year. Monday.
Yeah, that dodgy time, wasn't it? Yeah, but it's Skepticide if you want to check, because there is a run through on the page anyway, so you can find out and you'll be able to find the right link to it. But yeah, that was amazing. So what is your favourite location?
That's difficult because it changes. It used to be the Ancient Ram while John was still alive.
Yeah.
I did 3 investigations at the Ram right at the end of John's life and had absolutely nothing. I don't know if any people know John Humphreys, who owned the Ram. He got dementia. Ooh. So towards the end of his life, I think the spirits fed off his energy. So towards the end of his life, when he started losing grip on reality, he was almost crossing spiritually. So the energy wasn't there on this plane for the spirits to feed off. So for those 3 times, we got nothing. But I haven't been back since John's passed. So I have no doubt that he's back there. Just because of the connection he had with the place. So at the moment, I would probably say Galleries of Justice as my favourite location.
Okay. Yeah. That's one of the first locations I did.
It was one of the first ones I did. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I've been a fair few times, and it never ceases to amaze me. What different every time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the first bit of paranormal I got, which was amazing.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was the first time I investigated there. I think was the first time I came under psychic attack. The Templars don't like me because I'm a witch. So I walked into the temple area down in the tunnels.
Yeah.
And basically they started to pick on me, and I closed down because at that point I wasn't confident anymore, knowing what I was doing. The second time I was ready for them, and we had a good game.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I definitely want to get there. Barry John sometimes organises it, so
It's just so expensive now.
Yeah, he sort of does it midweek, and
right.
it's not too late either. So it might finish like 7 till 12, so it'd be shorter.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll see if that can be done when all this normal goes on. But yeah, get in there and then sort of go off to ourselves or somewhere quickly.
Yes. Well, like the courtroom is active, the cells are active, every single level is active for me, even the yard, even the foyer I find really active. So I just love that place because, like I say, you get something different every time.
Yeah, usually on the balcony. I actually went to that court when I was at college.
Oh, right.
When it was a court. I actually went to a trial there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Well, it is now because, like, I actually sat at a trial when it was a court, which is absolutely awesome. Hi, Words Coleman. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Abigail Victoria. Thank you for joining us. We've got a message here. I'm just trying to pick it up. But, when you do the computer and it, like, goes on to something different,
yes,
doesn't help. What do you find best helps people with regression therapy then?
To be honest, I've never got into the therapy side of it because I'm a great believer in knowledge is a good healer. So as soon as you find out that this is the reason why you have feelings about, like you say, about fruit.
Yeah.
As soon as you have that knowledge, you can accept it. And just the kind of person I am, I don't tend to reflect on things. So just kind of knowing makes me able to move on.
Right. Okay.
So I kind of just accept I can't wear a watch. That's simple as that.
Yeah.
I just don't wear a watch then. Yeah.
So you say that you've also been to a number of countries investigating. So which are your favourite places that you have investigated abroad?
Let Castle. Love Let
Oh,
Castle.
wow. Yeah.
Yes.
Love to go.
And in America, I've only really investigated a couple of graveyards. So there's so many more in America that I really want to do. Laurie and I have got grand plans for paranormal tours when we're out of lockdown and we're able to travel. I mean, the usual, the reformatories, the old hospitals, the old asylums. There's a couple of forts that I'd really like to investigate. Italy is another place that I'd really love to investigate that I've never had the chance to. And obviously Dracula's castle. I think everybody.
Yeah. So
the
many
old countries,
buildings, aren't there?
Yeah. And just from a personal point of view, Germany and Scandinavia, because that's where I feel my DNA is from. Just to make that connection. I mean, I spent some time in Denmark when I was in sixth form, and I just felt at home. And I don't speak Danish, but I stayed with a Danish family and I could understand pretty much 70-80% of what they were saying when they were chatting away in Danish. No idea how.
I've done that though. I've gone on holiday and I've just been screwed up for a year because I felt I belonged there.
Yeah.
It's Mexico, Chichen Itza and the Mayan ruins. And I really would like to go and investigate those. Well, a lot of places, but I don't know, you just get a draw about places, don't you?
Yeah, definitely Denmark and northern Germany kind of pull. But like I say, I know I've had past lives where I was Saxon. I have a fascination with Viking mythology. And a lot of my witchcraft is based around the Norse gods and goddesses. So
Brilliant. Fantastic. Uh, so Von had a past life regression. She thought it might link to three main things that had been with her throughout her life, but it turned out totally different. But one of the best experiences.
yeah.
I was always. You carry on.
Regression, I find you never get what you expect when you have a regression. You kind of go under thinking, oh yeah, I'll find out about this dream or why I'm scared of spiders or whatever, and then something else pops up and it all totally makes sense. But it's like going to an investigation. You can't plan on which spirit you're going to interact with, even if you've been there several times.
Yeah, I was quite scared in a way because it can impact on your whole life. Like
yeah.
for ages, I didn't want to do a past life regression in case I was a serial killer or something really horrible. You think, my God, did I do that? And it's how you deal with that. Would you have to deal with that guilt now of something which,
But everything, I'm a great believer in everything happens for a reason, and we all have past lives that we've learnt from,
yeah,
and we're here to learn from those past lives and to have new experiences, which
yeah,
is why I believe we're reincarnated. I think there's a point where you go through so many lives and certain things you have to repeat because you just don't get it. And it's like,
right,
hello,
okay.
hello. Every
Yeah,
life you go through the same thing. And like in this life I'm physically disabled, and I don't work anymore because of my disability, but I don't think of that as a punishment. I believe that in so many past lives I've been a warrior or very physically active, and I've never gone down the spiritual route. But because I can't be physically active in this life, I've kind of not had to, but I've fallen into developing spiritually. And I feel that it's something I've needed to do for my soul development.
yeah,
It's a case of the universe has kind of said, well, we've tried so many lives and you've gone down this route so many times where you're off, I don't know, fighting people or chasing wolves or being, I don't know, like I was a scenes of crime officer in one of my former jobs.
yeah. That's
And
awesome.
and it's kind of like the universe has gone, okay, you're not listening. We're taking that choice away from you completely. You can no longer do that. So
Yeah,
you need to listen to the lessons. So I'm a great believer in that. I don't believe in karma as a bad thing. It's a learning thing.
yeah. So when you're doing your job, did you actually get ideas of what had happened spiritually?
To be honest, no, because it's a totally different mindset.
Okay.
I have used it a couple of times in searching for missing people, because my
Right.
other hat was forensic archaeology. So looking for buried remains, buried people, buried murder victims, basically. And
Yeah.
I have used remote viewing to see if we can find out where the victim has been buried.
Wow.
But in terms of going to a murder scene, my belief is there's a point where your soul is snatched away from your body, especially in something so traumatic like a
Yeah.
murder or a car accident where you're killed. You're torn away from your body, and it takes a certain length of time for your soul to come to terms with that. And
Wow.
until your soul has come to terms with that, you can't appear as a spirit. You can't communicate because you've kind of got to build your strength up, and get your own mindset straight. So when I went to a murder scene, the body was still there, but I never felt the spirit there because the
Wow.
spirit has
Okay.
been torn away from the body and it was too soon.
Gosh. Yeah. Oh, bless you. Wes says he has actually been to the Mayan ruins and investigated
Wow.
it. Absolutely
Wow.
awesome. That that would be my dream.
That's cool.
Yeah. I just can't do those steps. They're so
Oh, yeah.
steep. I went up to Chinitsa so far and like, really? And like, no. But yeah.
The Robin Hood experience is bad enough.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you get some right places, don't you, when you're walking up and down. Bit of
Yeah.
a fitness regime, really.
Yeah, I was
Hi,
going to say, without that fitness from investigations, I've put weight on.
well,
Just
I
because
have
I'm not
done
getting my
investigating.
exercise.
That's it, isn't it? You know, like usually you'd be like sitting in front of a TV, but on a Friday and Saturday night, you're walking around who knows where.
Oh yeah, 10,000 steps easy.
Yeah, that's right, especially if you get a castle.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, wow, I do love those. Hi, Wayne, John Galwell. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing. Let's see what if we've got any other questions. Oh wow, Chris J. Cooper. Wow. Right, we'll just go to this one first. So Chris actually talked to his dad who passed just under a year ago. Which is so lovely to get to be able to do that, because if they are your family, you don't always see them, do you?
I think there's family don't come through until you're ready because they don't want to upset you.
Oh wow.
So they won't come through while it's still fresh and raw.
Yeah.
In terms of the being able to come back and communicate, it differs between different people, different
Yeah.
spirits. So
Yeah.
one spirit who's been murdered might come back in a week, and it might take another spirit years.
Yeah.
So being passed away for a year isn't anything odd. But yeah, family, I don't believe come back if it's still too raw. You may feel like you want to talk to them, but they know it's going to upset you too much and open the wound again. Until you've grieved, then they're not going to, unless it helps your grieving process. Just to let you know that they're okay.
Yeah, my mum did come back quickly, actually.
Yeah.
But then the night I lost my mum and the night I lost my dad, I actually went to Gresley Hall. It was just odd how those specific nights I was booked to go to Gresley. So actually, it was.
Yeah.
I just tended to keep busy, and that was that. But then Mum did come back within a few weeks, which was absolutely amazing. I didn't see her. I can sort of tell if she's there sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends. Like I said before, everybody's different.
Yeah.
And I think your family know you better than anybody. So I couldn't say, oh, yes, it's been a year, you should have heard from them.
Yeah. That's right.
Some people see them at the time they pass. Some people see, are aware that they're there within hours, but they may not come back and communicate properly for years. Just that initial contact of, I'm here to say goodbye, or everything's okay. That's kind of a closure thing. Whereas coming back to interact and actually talk, like Chris said, your family know when you're ready better than you do.
That's it. That's brilliant though, to get that. So Justin says Buddhists believe in reincarnation, not spirits. How does past lives and spirit world work together?
I don't know.
That's a brilliant question.
I believe in reincarnation, but I'm not a Buddhist. So my, I guess, worldview is that we are spirits within a fleshy shell, and the form of that fleshy shell can change. And it's the actual what makes you is what travels through the spirit world. And you may be reincarnated, but not in a physical form. You don't have to have the fleshy shell to be reincarnated. You can be reincarnated as somebody's spirit guide, like my current guide is my soulmate. We've had past lives together physically, but in this life, his job in this life is to be my spirit guide. So I would never say I'm right and this is the way it is. I just will explain my understanding, and if people want to accept that or believe that, then that's up to them to make their own decisions and do their own research and find out what they believe in.
Yeah,
So
it is trying to piece things together in your own mind in a way that you understand it, isn't it?
yeah,
In some ways.
yeah, my experience and my beliefs give me the spiritual being is encased by whatever the physical being is, and spirits are just that being without the physical form.
Wow. So just lots of Mayan civilization is
Yeah.
undiscovered. Yeah, I went to Skare. Yeah, Skare, which was like just a water park, and you've got like the ancient bit there, but I went to somewhere else as well. One of the other ruins, which is like less visited, which isn't more inland, and
Well,
I
all the
went to a
Mayan.
cenote. I went to a cenote as well, which was like quite a walk down into this cave about with a tree and like stalagmites and stalactites, like a tree, and then all schools around it, which was
Yeah,
yeah.
amazing. But a
But I
lot of
don't like caves. I was on my knees.
oh no, makes it difficult.
Yeah, and like the bloke was telling us all about the history, and I was on my knees thinking, "Get me out of this
I don't
place!"
like this.
But you
But
know, I kind of did
if
it.
if you think of the environment that a lot of the Mayan, Inca, and Aztec ruins are in, it's all heavily forested and not very
Yeah,
well populated. So there's going to be stuff out there. Modern things like LiDAR, which is the satellite-based mapping that archaeologists use, that's
yeah,
discovering an awful lot more. They've mapped amazing stuff in the desert in Egypt that nobody knew about, but you can see it on the LiDAR images. Same with even England. You think somewhere like England, we'd know about most of the historical sites that have an above ground presence. There are still sites being discovered here that are banks and ditches, and people just go, oh, it's a hedge boundary, or it's an old duck pond. But you look at it from a satellite LiDAR image and you can see it's a Roman marching fort, or it's the base of a feast, a mead hall, or and the other thing you've got to consider is everything that we see above ground is solid, it's stone. You think of all the buildings that were mud or wood that
yeah.
only exist as post holes in the ground.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Nottingham, so you look at the castle,
Yeah.
question mark house.
Yeah.
Now, that's been burnt down, rebuilt, and everything.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We tend to build important buildings over one on top of each other.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
all you see now is the top layer, and it's not until you dig that you then start revealing the other layers, and then you've got bits tacked on that have disappeared.
Yeah,
That were wood, or were robbed away to rebuild other bits. So
that's right.
yeah,
You've
totally
got the cave
agree.
system
There's
as well, and
yeah,
you don't know what's underground with caves and everything else.
no, yeah, I totally agree. I think we only know about sort of 20-30% of Mayan civilization.
Yeah, it was great when we were sort of walking through the jungle. We did go to one of the sites. We were just out walking in the jungle. Then there were things in the trees. You know, there's stones there, and you don't know what it was, whether it was another temple. And the fact that they've actually rebuilt the temples as well,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
some of the friezes are upside down. They've got stones in, so you're looking at the picture and it's the wrong way around or something.
Well, things like medieval churches that have got Roman tombstones in them, or bits of Roman buildings that they've robbed, and columns that they've taken from the
Yeah.
local villa. So it all gets jumbled up.
So hi and happy new year from Haunted Scotland. We are not alone. Hi Robbie, thanks for joining us.
But that's somewhere I'd like to investigate more. I've done the vaults, all 3 vaults, and I've done there was a hospital village site outside of Edinburgh that I did, but there's a whole heap of Scotland I'd love to investigate. Bangor.
I've been to
Bangor
a
was the
lot of
hospital.
Scotland, but I haven't investigated it. Been to the Orkneys, I've been to Harris Lewis, Skye, some awesome places, but I didn't investigate there, which is a shame, but I'm determined to go up to Scotland. I was due to go to Scotland last Easter, with worse, but it went wrong, obviously. But things happen, don't they? Which is annoying.
It's all for a reason. It's all for a reason. I totally believe that.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll learn what this reason is. But then we do appreciate family and friends more now, don't we?
Yeah.
That's a
And
biggie.
you may not realise what the lesson is, but you've learnt it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
We do think differently, we have to.
Yeah.
This is more the normal now, isn't it? And yet, ages ago, you'd think, my God, I wouldn't swipe a minute. And yet, here we are, like all these months down the line with 23 months to go. But yeah, I've got a brilliant question here from Laurie.
There's a
So,
surprise.
as a CSI, what was your craziest experience? What you can mention?
I think it was Coventry Cathedral. Kind of spooky, going along the spooky things. A guy set fire to himself in the main courtyard of Coventry Cathedral. If anybody knows Coventry Cathedral, they pipe in monks chanting, singing music, even when the cathedral's shut.
Oh, okay.
So I was there at, I don't know what time it was, but it was probably after midnight. So there's me and a fire investigator, because obviously he'd burnt himself, in the main, I guess, nave of what would have been Coventry Cathedral.
Yeah.
It was one of the spookiest places I've ever been to, I think. Just the feeling, I mean, we all know it. We've been to places and you're not alone. We both felt uncomfortable. Because I had a job to do, I wasn't tuning in or anything. I'm concentrating on the job. We need to get this poor guy out of there and find out what's happened and why. But yeah, the whole surroundings was just weird.
It's
felt
surreal,
eerie.
isn't it? You wouldn't expect that to happen in the church.
I worked at Worcester Cathedral for quite a few months after when I graduated as an archaeologist. I worked as assistant cathedral archaeologist at Worcester, and there were certain areas of that cathedral that I will say undoubtedly are haunted.
Yeah.
But it's like any place that has a lot of human activity, people going through day after day.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of place people return to. Strong emotions, because if you're Christian, it's a place of refuge, it's a place of solace. Those heightened emotions stay there. And in a huge stone building,
you've had your happiest and your sad times, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got married, you've had the christening, you've married somebody.
Yeah.
So,
and even if something bad happens, you go to church to pray. So it might not actually be an experience within that church, but you've had an experience and you go to church to seek solace, to seek peace. And that emotion that you're carrying with you gets imprinted on the building. I mean, stone tape theory, it's a huge building with so much quartz, so much water around, and so much emotion, it just absorbs it. Yeah. So you go in as a medium or somebody who, you don't have to be a full-blown medium, just sensitive to the energy of a building.
Yeah.
You feel that emotion. And if you can imagine, it was somewhere that you went, if you were devoted Christian, it was somewhere you went every Sunday, like go to your local pub. So people in death go to their pub, so spirits turn up at the pub because it was their local. Why not a church?
Yeah.
And you think of the hundreds of people who work within the cathedral as well. That's their workplace. I mean, we think of workplaces as offices, but the cathedral is a workplace to a lot of people. So why wouldn't you expect spirits to turn up in a church?
That's it. Yeah, because I know people who sort of like tended the church, put flowers there every week, we're sorting it all out for the next people to come in. So
as
it's
big as the cathedral, there's all the caretakers, there's all the clergy, there's the people who do the flowers, there's the people who look after the archaeology and the building itself, there's the people who the guides, because there are guides in most cathedrals now to show people around. So all those people work at the cathedral.
Yeah. It's just an amazing sort of place. I've got a question here then from Robbie. The hospital site is no longer available to investigate. He's
That's
been involved
Bangor.
in Culloden Moor.
Culloden is one place that I can imagine is very overwhelming from a mediumship point of view. Bangor, we were really lucky because I kind of made friends with the security. We turned up on spec because the grounds were open to public.
Okay.
And we saw people breaking into one of the buildings. So we got in touch with the security guards there and got chatting, and they were like, "Oh, do you fancy having a look in the church?" And we were like, "Yeah." So we investigated. It was mainly the church in the outside of the buildings. We didn't. Did we go in the theatre? We went in the theatre or the hall area and the church. Those were the only two buildings that the security guards would felt safe letting us into, because it's all falling down and everything. So, but it's an amazing place.
Yeah. I've been on Bosworth battlefields.
Done Bosworth. Yeah.
I sort of was going to Haunted Antiques, and I went with a few people who were going with me last year actually, and Ben Winfield, who's watching as well, he went. So yeah, we had a nice walk round there. We were picking things up. Went round with Gary Fields as well. So we were walking along the footpath, and Gary was saying something, and then on the next sign it described what he'd just said. So it's fantastic. Yeah.
I actually went there. I think we decided at 11 o'clock in the evening, having got into bed, having planned a movie night. Barbara, a friend of mine, and we just decided, let's go. So we got dressed, we got in the car, and we drove around the lanes, and I've got some amazing EVPs in two locations along the one lane. We were getting drumming.
Fantastic.
And we were trying to debunk it. We were driving around, and we weren't getting it in certain places, and in other places we were getting it, and we were like, well, it's not bass from a stereo, it's not fireworks. And then the one place we stopped, it actually started in the distance behind us and then came past us. And the point it got level with us on the EVP, I heard it. I don't know whether I heard it psychically or actually, because Barbara didn't hear it, but it's on the EVP. Horses' hooves and the noise. And that was as it came level with us, and then it disappeared into the distance in front of us. And I've got two EVPs of that. And that was just turning up in the middle of the night, just sitting there and listening.
Yeah, it's such a large area, but you've got the visitor centre. But some actually say the main battlefield is on another hill.
The main battlefield, we found out later, was on the lane that we were parked at, where we got the drumming.
Yeah.
We were actually on the front line of one of the side. I can't remember which side it was now, but we were on the front line, which is, we literally got the front line coming through past us. So yeah, it was amazing. I would strongly recommend, when it's safe for people to do so, just get out there with a dictaphone. You don't even have to get out the car. You can just sit there and listen and see what you experience.
Yeah. Oh, cheers, Ben. Take care. Yeah, I just do love investigating, and it is great how you can just get out and about. It's just, it doesn't always feel safe though, sometimes if you're going in buildings, but
I wouldn't go in buildings by myself, and I wouldn't go out in the middle of nowhere by myself.
That's right.
I quite happily sit in my car and wind the windows down, and then you're safe then. You can go pretty much anywhere you want, anytime you want.
Yeah, that's certainly a better idea. Yeah, some bunkers near me, which I got some amazing results from very recently. Just desperate to get back there, but I think Boris will stop that.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to go, but hey, I'm sure we will soon. So Robbie, he did a 15th century courtyard and got EVPs orbs, and half the tech was drained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, do you use tech then?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
When I first started, I was very much, I'm a medium. I don't need any of this.
Yeah.
Then people started saying, well, you ought to take notes. And I'm like, I can't take notes while I'm in the flow. So I started using a dictaphone. Yeah. And I carried a dictaphone literally to record what I was saying. And then it got to the point where I was like, I'm picking stuff up here now. So, and I want to show people, I believe it, but I want to show other people that I'm not that I'm not lying, but so that they can experience it as well. So I started carrying a K2, and I now have 2 K2s, 3 dictaphones, 2 wildlife cameras, a spirit box, a geoshock meter. I mean, for a medium, I carry a lot of kit, but I like to set all the kit going and then do what I got to do and then review the evidence. And then because I still go through that moment of doubt of where I've said something and I know at the time that that's what's popped into my head. Yeah. But it's always really nice when you're reviewing stuff and you go, oh, we got an EVP that answered me. Or, yeah, we picked up on a shadow where I've said I've seen somebody walking. We use the Ovulus and Spirit app quite a lot. And the number of times where I will be saying stuff and a word will come up on the Ovulus that is totally relevant to what I'm saying. And it's just so nice to get that validation to show other people. Yeah. Because I totally understand people's skepticism about mediumship. Are you really getting it or are you making it up? And yes, I can go in somewhere and go, yeah, I'm picking up a little boy and he's dressed in a little waistcoat and a white coat and he's got dark hair, and you can come up with all sorts of crap.
This is what I said on my first development lesson.
Yeah.
I just sat there and said, right, okay, there's a Johnny likes blue. And I says to the mediums there, I don't believe in this.
But even another medium may not be picking up the same thing as you because every medium works up on a different level.
Yeah, that's right.
Even though I'm seeing it, another medium that's with me may not be getting it. So to be able to have something that comes up on the Ovulus to say it's John brilliant. Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And to get that validation from the Ovulus as well.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm
that as well.
The forensic scientist in me still goes, this is a load of bollocks. The medium side of me goes, I know exactly that I'm getting it and I'm getting it from spirit and I'm basically it's going in however it goes in and I'm just verbalizing it. But the scientist part of me goes, I want proof.
Right.
So yeah, I always describe myself as a skeptical medium.
That's brilliant. Yeah. I want to thank you for joining us. There's actually Boris just appeared, so
wow.
I guess a few will want to watch that. But stay safe, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I've got Dr. Cal Cooper on in a couple of weeks' time. So if you keep, sorry, what impression do you like to do better, Gollum or a goat?
Gollum. My precious. Trucks, little hobbitses.
So there you go.
And on that note.
Okay, so thanks for joining us and stay safe wherever you are. And,
thanks, everybody.
Everyone. Thank you. Cheers.